I am inside your head, you are inside my heart. We fit together, perfect from the start. I am a part of you, you are a part of me, and so together we are one body. I am inside your head, you are inside my heart. We fit together, perfect from the start.
For
So is it recording?
Yeah.
Oh.
Bass.
Wow, look at that power differential.
Yeah, that's pretty massive. Okay, don't look at me like that. That is weird. Nick's sitting on the tall chair and then just reading his sweatshirt. His sweatshirt says, I would show the camera. You definitely can't see that.
I am cut off.
Oh my gosh.
I really just thought we'd have time to do this every week. I didn't
No,
realize how busy
bro.
we are as students that just like, we're just not going to do this every week.
Yeah.
We should try and do it more often, like unironically, because I actually have a lot of fun doing these.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
We have more. Oh, for sure. Yeah, good.
it's like the thought of it. I usually don't want to do it because it's too much work, and then we do
You
it.
literally sit down. I do all the work.
I know.
You sit down and talk.
I know. I don't want to do that.
Do much fucking work.
It's like you just sit there and talk.
Yeah.
There's no agenda. There's nothing you can do set up. It's just
Agenda.
do the podcast. Yeah.
Release the
and then
agenda.
do the podcast. Well, we have a lot to talk about because the last episode we posted was when we were on retreat.
Oh yeah.
Like our concert choir retreat is the last episode we posted.
Wow,
So a
that's
lot has happened in that time. We've had not one but two concerts that we definitely need to talk about.
Yeah.
And just a lot of other random stories that I'm sure you guys want to talk about. Oh yeah, you are so.
It's just like
Nick's just like, oh.
this guy.
Yeah.
This guy.
Hey, I'm trying to.
Okay, do we just want to start with the Fall Family Weekend concert, I guess?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yep. Based?
Yeah, I think it went well.
I think it's a 2.
I think on the Glee side, with all the freshmen and the new guys coming in, I think we sounded way better than last year.
Yeah,
obviously.
this is the best we've sounded, like straight up.
And
And these freshmen are kicking it.
They low-key carry.
well.
I agree.
They're like low-key carry.
And
Bass.
me and Jacob last year, like we're the only two basses that have stayed throughout, like since Stallman coming in.
And Brendan.
And Brendan, you're right. Brendan's also been there. It's such a big difference in what music we're playing, how we sing, who's singing where. I'm really happy for Glee. I was unaware. Like last year at this time, I was like, oh, Glee's fun, it's whatever. I'm singing again. Now that I'm here as a sophomore, it's completely different feeling. And I'm so happy.
I know there's just something to be said about, there's something to be said about consistency. Like, just getting people to consistently show up to rehearsal and sing, period, just builds, why are you laughing?
Because that just,
What is funny?
It just felt pointed given recent events.
Oh, we're not going to talk about the recent events. We're not going to talk about the recent events.
I'm not aware of recent events, but whatever.
It's because you weren't here for the recent event.
Oh, yeah.
He's a part of the recent event. He's a part of the problem. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I'm so confused. You mean thing over there?
No.
Oh, fuck, but never mind.
We'll talk about it afterwards.
Great.
No,
Anyway.
for the most part, over the last year, the fact that people have consistently come to Glee Club and brought their voices allows us to do the kinds of music that we can do. I also want to say that I feel like, I know you were talking about last spring being your favorite, like maybe more of your favorite set, mostly just because we did kind of more of those like pop, like emotional kind of stuff. And really our set this year was more choral focused.
Yeah.
The only really pop one was Connected, which I thought was a bop personally.
Yeah, I thought so.
But it was mostly choral, and I just want to also point out that like we would not have been able to do that last year.
Yeah.
Just because everyone in the room, it's not so much like sound quality. Like sound quality, we had that last year, but the attitudes of people in the room, they just didn't want to sing that kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it says something that Stallman was able to program really cool sounding choral music, and we didn't complain. I think that very much, like something like Ave Maristela is way more intense, way more serious than Widerspruch.
Yeah.
And the fact that we pulled it off, and that, like, Taylor Lupo, who came to the concert, was saying that that was his favorite piece of the night,
Wow.
like, I think says something. that it was
awesome.
really good. I really and
the way that was tied into the Hanak pot
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
And that was like, oh my gosh. When we started doing that in class, I still kind of believe that she had that in mind the entire time. But when she was talking about it, it seemed like it just came to her. And she's like, all right, just hold that drone at the bottom, and then we started singing the other part. And I was like, it felt so magical.
I think she maybe had it in her head the whole time, but I do think that whole figuring out the tenor keys drop out here. Oh, we want
so
the tenor wants to hold the perfect fifth. Oh, we actually want to split the basses so that you have Zach on the low drone and then the other basses on a parallel fifth kind of drone thing.
Yeah.
That I guarantee you was all on the fly.
Yeah.
Guarantee you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
So just 2 weeks before the concert, yeah, let's just change it all of a sudden,
go
and then
for
it
it.
actually sounded really way better, and Ave Maris still I think was my favorite song at the whole concert.
wow.
That I performed. I should clarify that I performed. Of all the songs that I performed, that's my favorite. I'm also biased, and I really like that old Latin stuff.
Yeah.
That's just all I listen to. So I think that's an unfair comparison, but. I was a pretty big fan of it. What was your guys' what was your guys' favorite song from the concert?
Chante washed it. That was my favorite one to sing. It was just.
That's your favorite one to sing?
Yeah, and hearing, I don't know, just on the recording after it, hearing the voices that are coming out in different areas that I could only really hear tenors and maybe a little bit of basses, and then listening to recording, it was everything together. It was really awesome.
So I think even though everyone knows the story, you might as well just share the story again.
Yeah. So pretty much my auntie, Sissy Goodhouse, wrote that song back in the 90s, and it won a couple of awards on her album. It's not even really known like that. And I grew up, my mom singing that song to me and my siblings my whole life. And so I was in the concert, and I was on my phone, and I was just kind of zoned out, and then I hear them start singing it, and I was like, wait, is that song? And I'm like, it can't be. There's literally no way, because that song's unknown. And then I'm like, yeah, I'll just listen though. And then they sang it again. I'm like, dude, that has to be that song. So then I was thinking about the whole concert. I'm like, is that song? And then after the concert, I run and get a program. And I look, and then there it was, and I was just stunned. I couldn't believe it. And then I went up to Dr. Stolman, and I was just like, my mom used to sing this to me when I was a kid, and my siblings too. And she was also shocked and just happy. And then I went and thanked them, the concert choir, for singing it, because I feel like they did a great job with singing the song overall, and it was just a great moment, and it was crazy.
Yeah, it's such a small world that those connections that connection just even happened. It was there. That was really cool. And when you came to concert choir and said it's concert choir, since I already heard this story 5 million times because we lived together, I was specifically looking at the room to see how the room was taking it, and the look of joy and satisfaction on people's faces as you looked around the room and heard that story was just so precious. It was you could tell that it meant a lot to concert choir that you made that message, because it landed really, really well.
Yeah.
And that's the first time you heard that story, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's that's cool, I guess.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I kind of like Hana Pachop, mainly because of the similarity to last year with Zambonani. I think that kind of reoccurring kind of style of song is a really good thing. I also was kind of happy that we kept that up. I think that song was maybe one of our, you guys can make your opinions, but one of the more unpolished ones. You're still having a few.
Yeah.
Even in the bass section, you still have a few guys that would kind of roll up a little higher than they needed to. It wasn't to a bad extent or anything like that. But it was just kind of one that I was I like the idea of it more than actually the song itself.
Yeah. Well, the thing was, the hard thing with that song is the harmonies are so static.
Yeah.
They don't really move. You're holding notes for a really long period of time, and to keep that energy moving forward is not the easiest thing in the world. And it also sits in a fairly low part of everyone's register. The tenor ones don't go higher than a D. I happen to know. It's not a high song at all.
Yeah.
And so because it's not a high song, everyone just gets into comfort zone because they don't have to work hard to make the notes happen, because it just is perfectly in everyone's wheelhouse. So when you have a bunch of people that just are sitting perfectly in their wheelhouse, not thinking about the sound they're making, then it's really easy for the sound to just fall off.
Yeah.
That was, I think, the struggle with that piece. Is I low-key almost wonder if it would have been better if we pitched it up a major third. Or a minor third. Probably a minor third. Probably like a minor third. And the tenor ones were up on an F instead of a D at the top. Like, I wonder how that would have...
Yeah.
Because we all would have had to work a lot harder because it would have sat a little bit higher in the voice. So we would have had to think more about how we were singing it.
Also,
That's like an interesting thought experiment to think about.
Yeah. On it being static, I agree. Which is kind of funny how like Stolman's like,
Sing it, by the way.
yeah, you're good. Stolman is like, you got to be, emotive, have to do all this stuff. I'm like, this doesn't feel.
Emotive, like Fortnite.
Yeah.
Yeah, this doesn't feel like a song that's kind of built for that.
Yeah.
Like someone else like you had slurs that kind of came out there.
Yeah.
There were beats right there. This felt like we were trying to take a church song and trying to whip it up into a more emotive kind of set.
Yeah.
But I was like, it wasn't working, and I was like,
And I think that's more just comes through in like being intentional with how you move your body. I think is the
Yeah.
main thing. Because like it doesn't naturally give its way forward. I think it's more like the text is Joyce, and so you're maybe not giving that through with your body language, but since we were processing, you would give that through your movement of your body, and you give that through the tone. That's why you had to do the bang kind of the sound, because that's where she was saying that joy needs to come in. It comes in through the sound and how you're moving your body onto the stage.
yeah.
For me, I didn't even realize, this is kind of like a dumb one on my part, but I didn't, like when we were marching or walking the whole time, I didn't know why. Until like 2 rehearsals before the concert, I realized that we were gonna march down the stairs. And so the whole time we were like rehearsing, I'm like, why are we walking? Like, I literally can't do this. And then I'm like, oh, that's why. And so and I finally got it, but that kind of made it hard for me because like I'm still kind of new to singing, so having to march all the way down, and it's like she wanted it to be like almost like a war chant. Or for me, that's how I interpret it. Like, we gotta be like serious and like. No, Kusi Queenie, so I'm trying to think of it in that way, but like I feel like some of it would get lost in translation, like we pulled notes too long, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah, war chant's the best way to describe that, because that was the vibe that I got. It was really hard to change it from that to like a bright kind of sound, because it just felt like it was written for.
Yep.
Plus we were marching, so it's like we're like an army, like just marching.
Yeah, and the rhythm was just so like constant.
Yeah, it was
Dun,
very,
dun, dun, dun,
very
dun,
sad.
dun, dun, and I was like, oh gosh, yeah. I don't know.
And you were like freaking out because you were like, I don't know, walk through the audience.
Yeah, I was scared because I didn't realize, or for one, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't memorize the whole song. So like the day before and the day of, I was like trying to memorize. And I didn't realize that there was the little section on the back page. So I like remember the front page, and then there was like the little section on the second page.
Oh yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, I sold the show.
Gotcha.
So I had to like fake it, but it worked out.
Yeah. No, going back to like also like our sound as a group and how like solid we are, it makes me really excited for Christmas because like we started working on that Christmas song.
Yeah.
That's like hard as F.
Yeah. It's not really which one.
But it sounds the Luke's a room quay.
Yeah.
But it sounds so good. But it's like Glee has like last year we weren't splitting into like most of our stuff was like 3-part. We maybe split into 4 every once in a while for like Let It Go for Frozen.
Yep.
Otherwise it was like only 3-part. Then we got like a lot more people, like the 2 of you, and then we could do 4-part pretty consistently. Now we have so many good people that we can do 8-part.
Yeah.
Like we're splitting into 8 unique parts, and there's a solo,
Yeah.
which is like its own part of its own. So it's like 9. It's like 9 parts,
Oof.
and we're gonna do that at the Christmas concert.
That's gonna be
And
real
that's
fun.
like just that's mind blowing to even think about.
Was Luke's the piece where there's like the tenor one, or was it the solo? It's like singing one continuous note at the end.
Yeah.
Over the top. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we were seeing that. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, one of you guys are gonna have to do that. One of the 4 of you.
Oh my gosh. It sounded so cool.
Yeah, it's really hard to do though. So I
It
think,
is really hard
that's why I
to do.
think
And
I'm
that
just gonna give it
recording,
to Robert because
the
Robert's
recording
the one who
wasn't
did it
like-
the best.
they didn't do crazy on the recording either.
Which makes me wonder if it was just like a really good, head voice. Which, I mean, the only one who's got that like really, really well is like Robert.
Yeah. Yeah, he should do it.
I
for
think
sure.
he should do it.
Yeah.
Though, to be honest, he'd be really good at it. But that spreads you tenor one's thin
Yeah.
because then Lucas is just chilling by himself
Just
with
give
very
it to
top
Lucas.
stuff.
Yeah.
It's like we're spread thin. That's what makes this song scary. Is we're spread thin because we only have 25 of us on 8 parts. That's like 3 per part.
Yeah.
So that's not a lot of people, and so you like really have to know like you can't just like hide behind your neighbor kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Like when you have 6 people, you can maybe hide behind your neighbor. When you have 3 people, you all have to do it and know it.
Yeah.
And that's intimidating. And to also think about the fact that it's going to be memorized, because the Candlelight Christmas concert's always memorized, like, you have that mental barrier going for you as well. Like, I believe we can do it, and it will sound really cool come Christmas, but it's one of those things that, like, we're going to have to, like, really lock in.
Yeah. It'll be a piece that I think is going to change the choir tremendously, because if we can do this and efficiently, the sky's the limit. We've done basically. Prove me if I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong. If you hit 8 part, we can really do any music someone throws at us.
Correct.
So I think this is the test.
This is the test.
This is the test.
It's the test.
And
will we fail?
And I think by the end of the year, we're gonna be seeing some stuff that first semester last year is completely out of everyone's mind.
Yeah.
Like even Stolen probably couldn't even think about this existing. So that's my hope anyway.
Yeah. For sure. For sure.
And I mean, I think I don't know where we're gonna go with in the choir, because spring semester last year, a lot like kind of poppy, kind of fun, whatever. Last concert, more choral. I'm wondering where we're gonna go, because I know like outright, and we're in St. Greg's at the moment, so I can look at the Glee cabinet, and I wonder to myself like back then. Because we met with like one of the old members, it's not like it was a men's choir, it was like a quartet, and now we're kind of at this point in time where it's like, should we go more pop? Should we go more choral? We're just gonna do a mixing of both and just keep that up. I kind of wonder where we're gonna go. If you guys have any ideas about that?
It's probably gonna be a mix of both. Like knowing how Stolman chooses to like program stuff. Her big thing is like expanding the ears of her audiences and her choirs. And so she will never pick one style to keep consistent for all the choirs. Like we're gonna do a lot of different kinds of things. We've already seen that in our Christmas repertoire. I don't remember the names of all, but the John Rutter piece with that we practiced singing Glee on Thursday. I don't remember what it's called.
Brightest and best.
Not Brightest and Best. It was the one that had the baritone, bass baritone split, and the baritones were pretty high in the register. We did it on Thursday. You weren't here.
Yeah.
We did it on Thursday. Do you remember that?
Is it just
And the baritones and basses split. I remember what it's called. I know it was by John Rutter.
Was it just a Glee piece?
No, it's a combined piece.
Is it the Home Alone one?
No.
Man, I don't know.
We're doing the Home Alone too, which is bass.
Yeah, that's fun.
When they said the gingerbread feeling when you were sight reading it, I overheard you and you're like, that gingerbread feeling. I was like, oh man, the gingerbread.
Can I just say though, like last year, Glee was so cool, not just from like a member perspective, but from an audience perspective, because it was the first time we had our pivot moment was last year.
Yep.
And the reality is like we're gonna keep getting better. That's true, but like we've already had our pivot moment. You know what I mean? It's like you can't have that again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like our pivot moment has happened, and I think what was really cool is the choir that steals the show is the choir who you can see is embracing their pivot moment. And this year that was Discontus.
Yeah,
like
sure.
Discontus had a pivot moment, and it was glorious.
Yeah. We'd love to see it.
And they completely stole the show, as they should. That like screaming piece, Fire, was actually so sick. That was like I talked to a lot of audience members, and most of their favorite pieces were like my parents' favorite piece was Fire.
Yeah.
Dr. Stolman's partner's favorite piece was Fire.
Because it was fire.
Because it was Fire.
It was Fire.
It was Fire. A lot of people in the audience, their favorite piece was Fire. Like that was a really cool piece. And just watching Discontus just like absolutely wipe the floor as they should was just like, and their opening piece, the Hawaiian one, was just like, it was just like a wall of sound that just like happened, and you just didn't expect that sound to come out, and it just like boom, and it was there, and you were like, who did? It was like actually so so cool. And so I'm excited to see where they go because
Definitely.
I mean, Glee was able to ride that pivot point for a whole year, and a lot of that is like Stolman helps like fuel that. But I mean, to an extent, like there's buy-in from the students. Like what made the Glee pivot point successful was we all bought into, especially last spring's set.
Yeah.
And we learned like 8 songs, and sure, maybe other people were mad that we got to do like Glee was half the program. We embraced it. We were excited about it, so we learned 8 songs. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, we learned 8 songs, so we're gonna do 8 songs.
Yeah.
And so, the key is like, hopefully, this is a PSA for Glee or for Discontinuous coming from the Glee people up here. We love you.
From the Glee
You
people.
sound amazing. You sound so good. Let this be love and excitement for you to realize that you guys are phenomenal and buy into the mission of making beautiful art, because like that's why Glee was so good last year, is we all realized what we could do and we bought into making beautiful art, and then it happened. And it all starts with recognizing that you have the ability to do what it takes. You have the ability to do what it takes. Okay, that's my like emotional moment.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I mean, if like Trevor said, the pivot moment and writing that through, I think last year, looking at the songs, like every single concert, the big 4, the 3 we did, it changed so much.
Yeah.
What music we were able to play, how we sang, everything.
Yeah.
Talking from personal experience, I mean, the very first days in Glee were hard because that was my first time in a small choir.
Yeah.
I had come from like,
Well, it was like
60s
11 people at that time.
Yeah.
It was really small.
really small. And there was no one on basses.
Yeah.
It was just like kind of me.
It was like you and Jacob, and that was
That was it.
Wow.
And Jacob was like, I love Jacob. He was really trying to help me out. I was not back then I was not the best singer. And I'm not the best right now. I'm still working through it. But it's nice to like feel as a student, you getting better with the choir as well. Because I feel like that's such a rare thing. Because if you come into concert choir, like concert choir is always going to be pretty good.
Yeah.
And it's like, you can be a good student and you'll have a good time in there, but being a student, watching as your choir goes from kind of like this, they exist, they're up there, it's nice and all, to, oh, we are the choir people come and sing and see and talk about, is such a fulfilling feeling.
Yeah. For sure.
I think part of the reason why, I mean, last spring concert, we had that pivot was because part of our songs were like happy and joyous, but then also we had like House of the Rising Sun, which is like really serious, and that was also one of my favorite songs just because I feel like it gave Glee it allowed us to show that we're not just like, yes, we like to have fun, but we can also like be serious. We can be serious and not just like only have fun. Like we're not just like every day in class just having fun. Like we can like get serious and get down and dirty. And we had a really good concert last spring, and so that was like part of our turning point. And then now we're the fall concert where we're like Ave Maricela and more like serious songs, and so that's my perspective on that.
Yeah, I think that kind of goes to your question about like the kind of like concert-ish piece, like classical. What was it?
Classical.
Choral.
Yeah, choral. There you go.
Choral pieces.
Classical.
And I think that's what Dr. Stolman really got right, is that like, in order to have that depth of like meaning in songs like House of the Rising Sun, and you just need, you also need the pop things to go with it. And the way that she sets up the set list too, she always does an amazing job.
That's
with
like
that.
as much of an art of its own. Like being able to make a set list.
Yeah.
Especially for something like Candlelight Christmas, where it's not like you just have Glee go, then Discontinuous, then like you just do all the choirs back to back. Like the set list for Candlelight is like one choir does one thing, then we do a group piece, and then Glee comes in, and then concert choir comes in, and then we do another group piece, and then Discontinuous sings, and like it's all layered. And like if you think about like keys, like how do you transition between songs? And like if a song has a similar key or like a relative minor key or something like that, or some like relationship between keys, that like you write some sort of transition that like seamlessly gets you to the next song. Like everything is very carefully planned on a Candlelight Christmas set.
I love that.
And like that's like being able to program a Candlelight Christmas is the one that's most impressive, because you're actually trying to find like what are the similarities between songs, and like you're almost picking music that not only do you like, but you know will have an easy transition because of like the songs that come before it or whatever. Like you need to pick songs that kind of relate to each other so that you can have transition. Because you can't pick something that's in like E flat major and then do like I'm trying to like pick an example that's not like crazy.
They're all B sharp.
Connected.
Yeah, like you can't do something that's like an E flat major and then go B sharp major, which I don't think is the thing. No, that is that a key signature? I'm not using theory. I should know that.
It's just C.
I think I've seen it before, but then again.
E flat to F minor. How about that? That
Sure.
definitely is like a weird transition. You know what I mean? Like you can't like have something like that. So you like being able to like pick songs that like you know that will have like seamless transitions and things like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just it's an art, and it's like the bottom line is like it's an art and it's a skill, and it's something that like really just like you have to be really really careful at.
Yeah.
And it's really really hard.
I'm excited because I've heard all the hype around the Candlelight Christmas concert, and it's gonna be my last one, well, my first
First
Christmas and my
your
last.
concert.
So it's
Oh,
like,
you hadn't sang in that before?
He
No,
joined
I
after you
joined,
joined. Remember,
yeah.
he joined like halfway through last spring.
Yeah.
Oh.
Mhm.
I don't know. Wow.
so this is like my last hoorah.
Oh.
And so I'm excited because it sounds like it's gonna be good, and like
It will be.
it's like the Spokane aspect. Like a lot of people go to it. So
Yeah, it like it's like it feels like the two major like Christmas events in Spokane. The first, like, at least to me, and I guess I haven't been in Spokane long enough to know this, but it feels like the two major ones. The first is Handel's Messiah that the Spokane Symphony does, which I'm excited to be a part of that again. That'll be a lot of fun, and I would highly encourage you all to go because it's in St. John's and just like story of Jesus right before Thanksgiving, just like and Handel just like yes, it's old dead white guy music, but the way that Handel expresses emotion and like captures the story of Jesus through all of it's crazy and it's really cool. But that and then our Candlelight Christmas concert are like the two crazy things. And also they play all of the Christmas concerts from all the collegiate choirs from the area the night of Christmas Eve on the Spokane radio.
really, okay.
So I've listened to that every year.
Oh.
Our
That's really cool.
Christmas concerts, and so Henry Stone was on the radio, by the way, because he had the solo last year at the Candlelight Christmas concert.
Oh.
But yeah, it's like going back to Fall Family Weekend.
I'm back in time.
I know, back in time. I was well this morning. You saw me when you walked in my room right before I was getting started doing work. I just wanted to watch it. I was watching our quartet.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because me and Zach and Henry and Robert made a barbershop quartet because we were like bored after Glee and we were like, let's just sing some barbershop, see what happens. And we learned it and it was just really cool that she like let us do it. And like my main thing when I was watching it back again was like watching because concert choir was on stage when it happened.
Oh yeah, the faces.
And like watching the faces of concert choir while we were singing, like you the whole time were just like really like absurdly bright smile.
It was so funny.
Hilarious.
Your guys' like confidence / arrogance. Like,
I know. Well, that was kind of the point. It was like we had to play into it.
Yeah, it
so
was
like we had to
so
like
funny.
act like cocky and arrogant, kind of on purpose.
I love
But
that.
the other funny thing is like when someone talked about it and like made the surprise announcement on it, she was like, "Also, we have a special announcement." And you can see, like, if you watch the recording, it zooms in on Dr. Stolman, and you can see like the first 2 rows of the soprano section. And like my like favorite reaction is just like Chance, who like I don't know if you guys know this, but Chance went to like I think it was like a choir school basically.
Wow.
So like she's really good because like she like has been singing in choir like at a very high level like the majority of her life. But like so she has like this really like good professional stance, and so she's like really polite on stage, ready for concert choir to sing. And then it's like, and the quartet, and she just like looks over and she's like, oh. It was the best moment. It's just like watching her like be so serious, and then watch us come on. And she's like, oh.
Oh man,
That one was really funny. The other really funny one was you can see Claire as well, and Claire is really sweet. I love talking to Claire. She's so awesome, and she just like always has like a smile on her face, just like whenever she's interacting with people and whenever she's singing. And so she was like all off stage smiling, excited to sing. And then when she was like, we have a special announcement, she just like looked over backstage, made eye contact with us, just like looked back, she's like, wait, what? You can see her just
She
like
did do a double
she did like a
take.
double take and was like, what? That was really funny too.
I will say in the green room, because like all like the Glee guys were in the back, just like we were ready for it. We all just like at all one moment was like, let's see this thing happen. Like everyone was like looking around, checking stuff out. The moment you guys came on, we loved it.
That's
It was so
awesome.
fun.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun to do, and we'll see kind of what opportunities. Stoneman's been throwing us some opportunities for gigs, which has been cool.
Oh, awesome.
We'll see what we choose to do. We actually did a gig on Friday with math department. One of the math professors, Dr. Tom McKenzie, wanted to have like intro to his class because he teaches at 3 p.m. on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So it's like, especially like this week when it's like midterms and a 3-day weekend, who wants to show up on a 3 p.m. Friday when he's not giving an exam? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so the quartet came in, and he got Dr. Whitlatch, another math professor, to come in and be an announcer, and he's like, welcome, the Linear Algebra Show! And up next, the Tom McKenzie Barbershop Quartet! And then we got up and sang Under the Boardwalk for his lecture. And he just like didn't start lecturing for math until like 15 minutes in. We got up, we sang Under the Boardwalk, and then he runs in and he does like that, like, you know how you watch late night talk shows and they make like actually really cringe jokes that are not funny, and the band just like laughs like really loud on purpose? We did that for like 10 minutes then after we sang.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
And so we did that on, that's where I was on Friday afternoons. We did a gig like that, and it was really funny.
How many people were in the class?
Only 11, but he also has a 2 p.m. class, and so we weren't able to go to the 2 p.m. class because Henry had a different class at 2 p.m. And so he just told his 2 p.m. class, we're like, hey, I don't really have spaces since we only have like 3 kids in the 11 o'clock, so just everyone come to 3 o'clock. I'm not gonna tell you why, but like you definitely want to come to the 3 o'clock. And so it was pretty full. It was like pretty full. And then we come in and just sing, and no one was expecting that. Well, the thing he did is he put 4 chairs at the front of the row, and so like the 4 of us were just sitting at the front. And everyone's just like, what's going on? There's clearly something crazy about to happen. And he's like, and introducing the Tom McKenzie Barbershop Quartet. And we just get and start singing, and the whole class just loved it. It was actually funny too because Robert was sick over the weekend, so he couldn't do it on Friday. So I gave it to Lily Miller, and she learned the whole song in an hour.
Oh my god.
Which was insane. She nailed it, except for one part, but it was really funny. It was doing that out of the sun, that like kind of chorus part that Robert takes. I gave her my tablet so she didn't have to memorize it, but she didn't get the page turned, so she messed up the words. And instead of just like going on out of heaven, she was like, sorry. We were like, what are you doing? I about like died. Like, why are you apologizing while you're singing? What are you doing?
Oh my gosh.
But,
wow.
Yeah. It's
That's hilarious.
Well, it's just there's your quartet stories for the day.
Man.
Okay, there was another concert that happened, which you missed all of it, by the way.
Jazz!
Jazz.
Love that.
We did a concert. Jeez, that was on Thursday.
Yeah.
Man, this has been a great weekend. I'm just like nothing.
Yeah.
I just like that feels like so long
Yeah.
ago.
Yep.
That's how much Mario I've played this weekend. But no, we had a concert on Thursday where we sang a mass. It was called the Mass in Blue, and it was the Catholic Mass. So we sang it all in Latin, and every part of the Catholic Mass, the Kyrie, the Gloria, the Credo, Sanctus Benedictus Annis Dei, like all of it in Latin all the way through, but in the style of jazz.
Yeah.
And it was like it was like sexy church.
Sexy
That's what it
church.
was, and it was really cool. And I guess I'll just start with like, as someone who does not like jazz, I really like this piece because it was. I don't like jazz.
How can you not like jazz?
I don't like jazz. I will though say that I don't. I was actually talking about this with the jazz. Okay, no.
Get into that old white guy music.
Bach.
But no, I talked to, what's his name, Dr. Few? Dr. Few.
Yeah.
Not Few. What's
Fade.
his name? Fade, thank you. I'm so dumb. Dr. Fade.
Dr. Few.
Who is Dr. Few? Dr.
Basketball
Fade.
department.
Dr. Fade, who is the jazz professor here. And because I went around and I was like, that was a really good concert. And I think it was like, I just haven't listened to the right jazz.
Yeah.
Because like the jazz concert, I was pleasantly surprised. Like I had a lot of fun at the jazz concert. Like just listening to all the other ensembles and stuff. What are you looking for?
Said the right jazz.
Yeah, it's the right
What
jazz.
is the right jazz and what's the wrong jazz?
I don't know. I just like, I guess, I don't know.
Here's the thing. I gotta be honest with you. You can't listen to jazz without it being live. I play jazz guitar,
That might be part of it.
and jazz is a genre is meant for the live.
Yeah.
Jazz, you're supposed to talk in the middle of it. They're gonna play random notes because they feel like it. It cannot work well when it's recorded.
Yeah.
There's some of them are, but like good feeling jazz has to be in the moment. And I got a really great look at it because I was on the direct right. I got stage the left side, all by myself with a friend of mine. So we were right by the jazz group.
Call me up, by the way.
Yeah, I did.
You're like, yeah, Trevor. I was like this. I was like looking at you and just like winking it.
Yeah, I was like,
I didn't do it. I was so stupid.
I also yelled at Joan. But like, we were right there. And I'm like, I told my friend Michelle, like, dude, this is like the best way to experience jazz. You're sitting, it's like we have a whole row to ourselves. We're sitting there, we're like talking about people playing. Jazz is for the live. And I think I can't even really listen to jazz, like, other than like my own like guitar music, because it just doesn't feel the same.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll just say, like, the atmosphere.
Does anyone want water? I'm gonna go get some cups and fill
yeah,
like
sure.
water. You guys
Can
can
you
talk.
just
I'll
grab
have
some
some
water?
water.
I'll
Grab
have
that
some
cider so we can check it real quick.
I'll be honest, Myrtle Woolson.
ICU? What the fuck?
Dude, the atmosphere in Myrtle Woolson was like
Yeah.
something I had never felt
And
before.
it was packed.
Yeah, it was packed. And like
Yeah, it was a lot more packed than I thought.
Fake at the beginning saying like take pictures, talk, scream out, and say like, yeah, this random person. Like it was so good, and like I think it really helped me get out of like just my nerves, and like there was just it wasn't that I don't know, it wasn't that I didn't have nerves, but it's that you just knew inside that the nerves were natural and you're just gonna play with it. You're just gonna be like, yeah, this is just fun.
Who wanted water? Who wanted cider?
I'll have water,
the water.
please.
Water. You're the only one that wanted the cider, or do you not want
just-
cider?
I'll just
Oh, you're gonna
Let's go with water.
Oh
Room
yeah.
temp cider.
Okay, 2-person podcast, ready to go. Keep it alive.
Okay.
Every time I think of jazz, I think of the Goofy movie. Like,
That's fair. I don't disagree with
it's
that.
like the snapping. That's all I think about.
Oh man, that drummer.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, that guy was. Oh my gosh, just mental.
I showed up late or pretty much at the end of the concert, and I was like,
It was a long concert.
Good
too.
job.
I didn't read enough about what. For a second, I thought like jazz was being featured in our concert, and then it was like it was the opposite way.
Yeah, no.
And- yeah.
It was not our concert
Yeah,
by
I know.
any stretch of the means.
Yeah, I know, and I
Um,
realized that.
I was talking with my.
Or just can you
I got
water?
water bottle. Don't worry about it. I was talking with my my jazz guitarist teacher, and he plays like that big bass like boom 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 guitar. Also plays horn, like I believe it's trumpet. So I showed it to him. He's like, "This is what you want. This is what you want to see at like any jazz. It's fun. It's light. It's you can talk. It's like if the people are looking at each other, they're almost talking with one another, and you can see that as an audience member, that's good jazz.
Yeah.
And I think looking at that, I think Fag, is that his name? I think he was pleasantly surprised that many people came because it was packed. I was kind of surprised. I was
You
like,
could have ticketed that $5 easy and made
a lot of money,
a decent amount of money.
but it was free, which is really awesome.
Man, I didn't think it was.
And also, it goes to show like how like the school's putting both like choral music and jazz, usually not two genres you find similarity in, and they were able to do that. And I think that's just super cool. I'm like, wow. I'm like, it's a good time to be here at GU for like music. I feel like.
And I want to go back to your point on like mostly people came because it was free. Because Fall Family Weekend was packed.
Yeah,
And those tickets were $15 a person. Unless you were a student, they were 10.
still.
And that's fairly expensive for a concert that was exactly an hour.
Yeah.
So I feel like he could have charged even like $5-10 and the same people would have came. I feel like.
Yeah. Or like bring a can of food to get in. Virtually.
Which I think wasn't Stolman talking about doing something like that for the Candlelight Christmas concert? Or am I
I
making that
didn't
up?
overhear. I don't know.
I think I'm making that up. Okay.
It'd be a good idea.
I think
Yeah.
it'd
He
be a
would
great
get in
idea.
for like 10 years because he's bringing like all your refresh.
True.
Oh man.
No, but I also my main thing with the Mass and Blue. This is because I'm just such a nerd with theory, and I like look
We know.
at music all academically. But the Mass and Blue is super cool because there's jazz moment chords, and then it just resolves into this like very truly choral like sound, like major chord, like all of there's pillars of major and minor just like all throughout it, which is not something that's not that it's uncommon in jazz, but not voiced in the way that we were singing them. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Intentionally by the composer. The composer was voicing it intentionally for choral. So even though it's like you need a jazz band for sure, but I think a jazz choir would sing it worse than a normal choir. Because you need a certain kind of sound, right, with a jazz
Yeah.
choir. And because of where that piece kind of lends itself to at moments, it helps that there's like a choral
like background,
sound.
like a background in.
And just like classical singing and stuff like that. Like one of those
That's-
ones I'm thinking of is where was it? Is it in the Gloria?
I think I'm thinking of the exact same part you're thinking of, but I don't remember what part it's in. Is it the breathy part?
The
Oh.
I don't remember the words right before that. No,
No, that's not
that's
it.
not it. Is
Are
it
you?
the
Is
Credo?
it Ave Marcella?
I agree.
No, I don't know what it is, but the one where we
Trevor's
like,
enchanting
with the tenor
us
string,
right
the
now.
octave jump, where it's like,
Yeah.
I think that's in the Gloria. But now I'm like freaking out.
Yeah,
Like
no,
I
I
don't
can't
remember where that is.
I was gonna.
But that's one of the moments I was
Yeah.
thinking of.
Yeah, I was
Or
thinking
the
about
song
it.
too, just like the tenors, like the
Yeah. Oh yeah.
that too.
I feel like that collection of pieces really allowed people who are very invested in choral music to like practice very personal ornamentation of their singing and
Yeah.
stuff. Like sopranos, like I forgot what song it was. This was a part of, but Dr. Stolman was like, we need a little more breathy, a little more sexy, or whatever, which is like something that we like. Yeah, in choral music you really can't do. Like that's
Yeah.
a real no-no to be like or whatever.
And I'll just be like out here slaughtering any student who does that.
Yeah.
And someone's like, no, you gotta do that by the way.
Yeah, but it was so good because it was
Yeah.
like it was just so laid back and like
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to go as far as to say that people do better when they don't have that restriction, but it certainly I don't think it was worse.
Yes, no, for sure.
It-
It all comes down to style, right?
yeah.
You at the end of the day when you're singing you have to match the style.
Mm-hmm.
And even your voice teacher realizes that you have to match the style. Like Darnell like tries to get me to sing very classically.
Mm.
If you were to put musical theater in front of me, she would still keep me trying to use some of my classical chops, that she would then tell me to do certain things with my voice that she would not tell me to do with most of my other repertoire.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like style is a very important factor when you're singing, and people realize that.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, no, but yeah, Mass and Blue is really cool. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not sure what I was gonna say.
It was
And
very cool.
it will get better too.
Yeah.
We for sure
Well,
we
say
have
on-
times to we have time to work on it.
We have time. Well,
Well,
not really.
No.
We have one day to work on it, and we're not really gonna work on it because we have to get our fall family weekend rep back. Think about it, we don't have school today. We're recording this on a Monday. We don't have school today, and we leave on Wednesday.
Yeah, you make
So we have one rehearsal before tour.
yeah, you
It's
make a good point.
Wednesday.
What?
I'm not sure.
Okay, cool. And we're probably gonna spend most of it working on Fall from the Weekend rep and not Massive Blue. Like Massive Blue, we're just gonna pull out at that one stop. Maybe one more on Friday, like a couple movements.
It'll be fun. It'll be awesome. I have to be honest again. Great concert. I was overjoyed. I loved it.
Good.
I told everyone I know that I could see after that I loved it.
Mm.
I want to see more of it. Frankly, I want to see more of it because I knew there was a jazz group here. I did not know there was that many people. I think a scene like that.
Yeah.
I was overjoyed.
Yeah.
Honestly, like that concert is gonna be the reason I probably go to the the Christmas. Like I looked at the music calendar to see when the Christmas jazz concert is, and
Yeah.
I might Like there's a very good chance I'll be in the audience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like just to watch it, even though I'm not in the jazz choir and we won't do anything with them for Christmas, but like I'll go back and watch because that was such a cool experience.
They're so good. Yeah, and even in the days like before, I have a couple of residents who played in it and some friends who played in it, and like they were all just like practicing so much.
Yeah.
And anytime I was like, you want to do something, they were like, no, sorry, tonight I'm gonna like practice. And I was like, wow, like they have so much dedication, and
They
it
worked
totally
their
paid
rear,
off. Like,
they worked their rears off and they got the music in May.
yeah, and like
They
so much
they spent their
initiative. Yeah.
summer working on it. That's why they sounded so good on
I know.
Thursday.
Oh, I feel like
Insane.
all the choirs just need to be surrounded by people who have that level of initiative.
Yeah.
Because some people in choirs, like, they were just kind of placed in it by other people. And they're like, yeah, you have a good voice, you should try out for choir or whatever. And then they do, and they get put in it. And then there's like, not that they have a lack of like personal investment in it, but like, I don't know, the initiative that the jazz people show is just like crazy.
And plus, all the part of the class they have to take is recording. You have to learn how to be like an artist outside of the school.
That's true.
And I was like, oh, this is not just, hey, I'm doing this on the side. Like I do Glee because I love it. I think it's a lot of fun. But I'm not planning to be who sing. I'm not planning to sing for money. Essentially.
Yeah.
So for them, it's like, oh, this isn't just for fun.
Yeah.
This is. I'm planning to go out into the world and play my music for real and get paid good money. And I was like, good on that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll be honest. When we were singing, I was looking at, because I knew some of the people who were playing piano and some other people on our left side or whatever, and I was just like, oh my gosh, these people could be playing music in like freaking Broadway shows or something. Like they could be making so much money, and like they're just so good at what they do. And I'm really excited for them and the opportunities that they'll have when they graduate.
It's a really good jazz program. And
Wait,
those
is-
instrumentalists are really good.
Do you have an orchestra?
They do.
Is that
It's very small. A lot of people don't come here to do orchestra, is the reality. Like, it's so small that it's open to the public.
I could join?
Yeah.
If I brought my
No,
saxophone.
like, they have like 70-year-olds that are in the orchestra, the Gonzaga Orchestra.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh,
Like, they have a lot of people. Like, they just have. It's actually. I can't. I shouldn't speak to it because I'm not in it, so I don't know the statistic. But I do know that it's like at the very least half and half, student outside group.
Wow.
So.
Which is pretty cool still.
Yeah.
I'll give it to him.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah,
by the
it's
way.
cool. I just like music.
Yeah.
I just like music, so
Yeah.
whatever works.
So the final thing, we've talked about two things in the past, but the last thing is a thing for the future, which is we've alluded to, but this week we leave on Wednesday, or at least Nick and I leave on Wednesday afternoon to go to Seattle, in the greater Seattle area, to do a choir tour.
Greater Seattle. Yep.
That's really what it is. I mean,
Yeah.
I
Here we are.
just think it's funny that we call it the Seattle, like, this is something last year, it was like, we had the Portland tour. We literally just slept in Portland. We didn't have to be in Vancouver.
Well, because
Seattle tour.
Seattle means like any
I know.
part west of the mountains
But it's like,
Yeah.
in Washington. I'm
but it's
from
like
Seattle.
Seattle
Okay.
tour. We're going to Kirkland. We're going to Snohomish.
Take a 2-hour
Or
radius.
Snohomish?
Samamish.
Samamish. Not as far as Snohomish. They're
Snohomish?
all- Snohomish.
Yeah.
God got it, Yurichi, bro. What?
It's actually like Snohomish is like a
Okay.
place in
Yeah,
Washington
Snohomish.
State.
Still going.
Speaking of snow, can I tell the story from yesterday about our roommate Sal and snow? That actually was like actually so
Yeah.
stupid. So I went home yesterday afternoon. I usually go home on Sunday afternoons, at least to have lunch with my parents, because I have a church gig, and so they drop me off a car, and I just drive it home for them, and then I'll end up having lunch with my folks. And my mom was like, "Oh my gosh, it's gonna snow on Friday," and I was like, "Oh, we're not gonna be here to see it because we're gonna be
Yeah.
on the west side." My mom goes, "Yeah, it's only a 30% chance of snow." So then I get back to the apartment. Our roommate Sal, I'm hanging out with him. We're playing Mario Bros. Because the new Mario game just came out. It's based, by the way.
By the way,
It's really good. It's really good, actually. That's a story for another time. But I saw Sal. I was like, "Oh yeah." And then while I'm on choir tour, it's gonna snow. And he's like, 30% chance of snowing. And he literally looks at me, dead serious, and I thought there was something wrong with him. He goes, "No, it doesn't mean that there's a 30. Like when weather apps say there's a 30% chance of snow, it doesn't mean there's a 30% chance of snow. it means 30% of the ground is going to be covered in snow.
Yeah.
What? No!
I looked
Don't
it
get
up.
on this train.
Yes,
looked it up.
that is
It
actually
was-
correct.
No.
What?
Damn it. Meteorologically, that is correct.
No.
It is-
No.
I looked it up last
That
night.
means you're telling
It
me
was
there's
fact
a
checked.
There's
And
a
it was
100
wrong.
There's a 100% chance that it will snow on Friday. Is what that means.
No. So it's
That
saying
doesn't make
in the
sense.
area, there's a certain meteorological area. I don't know what Spokane is, but it's like there's like the city limits. Let's say the city limits.
Huh?
Whenever they look at meteorology like information, they're gonna say, okay, this area right here has a 30%. This area right here is a 30%. But this area over here probably has a 0%. So they make assumptions that it's gonna be 30% in your general area. So in all Spokane, 30% of Spokane somewhere will get hit by snow, and then 70% will not.
What?
Wait,
That makes no sense.
That's still 30%, right? There's still a 30% chance that this area.
Not this area. It could be like west of here that could get a lot of snow. It could be east of
Yeah,
here.
but it's still
Okay, but
30%.
we're talking about like the probability that it will snow. Because the way that you're talking about, that means that it is guaranteed to snow on Friday.
Yeah, but somewhere.
But not
in-
perhaps
But
not
what if
here.
it does not snow? What I'm saying is,
It could not
it's-
snow here, but it would
weather
maybe
keeps
snow.
changing. It's possible that it just doesn't snow on Friday.
Yeah, that's possible. But let's say 0% chance at that point. Usually they'll say that.
That
Like-
makes with rain. When it says it's going to be a 70% chance of rain,
Yeah.
it means 70% of Spokane is
Dude,
going to be hit
think
by
of
rain.
it this way. What's the cloud do? It moves. You think it's just gonna sit there and be like, alright, I'm gonna dump all my shit right here? It's gonna move. That's how snow works as well. It's gonna move down a certain like corridor. And then it's gonna like get hit in that corridor, it's gonna, rain, snow, and so on and forth. We might not be in that corridor. So 30% of Spokane is inside that
So then,
corridor.
tell me
This isn't
why.
mathing.
This is not mathing. So tell me why when I look at Dancing Weatherman, who does his TikTok dances while he's giving the weather,
Yeah.
and he says there's a 30% chance of snow in
Yeah.
these cities. He uses the word chance.
Because it may not be that. It may not be 30%, maybe higher, maybe lower. Meteorology is it's like one of those, weather is so hard to predict, they'll usually just throw up a number, hope it sticks.
I'm aware that it's hard to predict, but when you say a chance, my math brain goes, there's a certain probability that it will happen.
You're not, but this
You're
isn't
telling me
math.
it's not a probability.
This is
This is math, though.
It is, okay.
It's a statistic.
But think of it this way. I don't know all the math terminology, but it's like if you think of like an
I'm getting more
area.
water. I'm listening, but I'm
Yeah.
getting more
Can I
water.
If you think of an area.
Can I get more water?
It's,
Yes.
You can't predict this shit. Like it's just so hard using the math we have today. Well, we can, but it's not good.
We can't, because we can.
We can, but it's not 100% correct. There's too many variables. So it is a statistic, but it's like having like 300 variables all in a math problem. That is impossible to do. Even with many computers today. And most computers are like, this is we forgot about some of these variables, here's what we think will happen with these. We just don't know.
Did anyone look this up? Did you look it up?
I did.
Is he
It
right?
said It was wrong.
Said who was wrong? Him?
Yeah.
Good!
I didn't get a definitive answer, but
I'll look it up
alluded to
now.
that.
Fuck it, we got nothing else
It was
going on.
USA Today, so
What does it mean when it says?
Because, that makes no sense. I guaranteed will precipitate, but only 30% of the ground is going to be covered in it.
that means it's either yes. That means it's yes or no.
Yeah, that means it's a 100% yes or no. Which,
But just in this area.
yeah.
So then why wouldn't there be Spokane north, Spokane west?
I'm not even reading it, but
Go to the fact check
It
version.
doesn't have anything to do with duration, intensity, or amount. I'm aware of that. It's
Yeah.
only a measure of the probability that it rains a measurable amount.
Yeah,
That's what we
that's
just
what we just
said! That is literally what we just said!
It
Okay.
means there's a percentage.
It's the
that-
probability that it rains a specific amount
Yes.
in a given amount of time. So it's a
but it
probability.
could be an area where it says in this area it will rain.
That's not what this just says.
But no,
that's
you're
not
saying-
what
you're
that
saying
says.
we're
That's
saying-
not what that says. Do not.
you're saying
do not
we're-
twist it. That's
you're-
not what that says.
check. This is fact check.
Yep, that's where I went. USA Today.
It's not what that said.
It's financial
Dude,
waves.
that mic just peaked for 5 minutes straight as we argue about
That
this.
is such a good fake out.
Like a
Because
trivia?
it makes sense a little bit. Okay, I don't know a lot about meteorology. That could be realistic in my mindset.
2 truths and a lie.
2 truths and a lie, weather edition.
Yeah, it's the likelihood of rain, how widespread the rain is expected to be in a given area. So yeah, you're right. Cool. I'm wrong.
Thank you.
I was going off of what I was told. I was
You
wrong.
should probably trust the mathematician. Just saying.
Who told you?
Oh, that's like a highlight for the Instagram right there.
Just like you're running away, and I'm like, but come on. Yeah. I'll take the L there.
You can very much take the L on that.
Friday, it's gonna be partly cloudy. Based.
Oh, so it's not snowing anymore?
I mean, it's gonna rain on Wednesday, but it's gonna be 39 degrees. So.
What's a high there?
Oh, it might be like a hybrid.
Fuck, it goes down quick.
Yeah, we had like that moment at the beginning of October that was fall, and that was it. And then it just got hot again. And
Crispy.
So rip your fall.
Bring out your North Face
Then like
coats.
2 weeks of fall, we got like the end of September, beginning of October. That's all the fall you're
I
getting.
mean, the leaves are beautiful right now.
Leaves
so.
are
They are
gorgeous.
If you want
gorgeous.
Leaves are
sensory overload,
amazing.
just go walk down.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm now fucked with my experimentation. I have an experiment in one of my classes where I have to go outside and interact with bees, and they stop pollinating at 55.
Are you a bio? No, you're not a bio major.
I'm
Are you
environment.
helping?
I'm not helping her
Your
out.
thesis?
I'm not
You're
helping
not
her
helping her out.
I can though. I just need to get. I don't know where QR code. I can send her some stuff, but my experiment is for my 103 biology class.
Got you.
Environmental
I
biology.
just think about that because she's in my graduating class. And
Yeah.
She was talking about that because we had to plan her thesis last spring, and she was in my class, and so
Yeah.
I know all about that. Well, I don't know all about that thesis, but I watched her plan the topic, and so
Yeah.
I knew she was doing that before she did all the like advertising all over Gonzaga's Instagram and that kind of thing.
Yeah. I definitely should help her out because I have a lot of pictures of bees. I took a lot of pictures of bees.
How do you react to?
I'll give it to you then because I have the QR code somewhere.
Okay, cool. Send it my way.
I usually try and keep in touch with all the honors senior thesis stuff because I just want to support students' projects because it's already the senior thesis is such a scary like amount of work to do pretty much by yourself. Like you have an
Yeah.
advisor, but like you're kind of responsible for doing all of the work for it. No one's telling you how to do it. Like you're doing the research on your own, making the paper on your own, making the project. Like I have to plan a concert and audition a choir for my paper, and it's just like it's a lot of work. It's not that I don't even enjoy all that work, but it is a lot of work. And so like I want to respect that it's a lot of work for a lot of different people, and like just keep tabs on how everyone's projects are going.
What, does everyone have to do a thesis?
So in order to graduate with honors, you have to do a thesis.
Oh, okay. Cause Sal did it, so and Rod did it.
Yeah, Sal didn't do a thesis, Rod didn't do a thesis, Taylor did a thesis, but he didn't do a thesis for honors, he did a thesis for his major. His major had to have a capstone. Something
What was his
and some
major?
majors have to have a capstone.
Econ and history.
Oh.
Your double major.
So I, like for example, my data science, which is weird, my data science minor has a capstone class.
Yeah, just
Feels
don't do
weird
it.
as a minor. No, I already did it. That was the Splatoon thing I did last spring, but I
Oh.
procrastinated until the end of the semester and was like, I'm so excited about this. I did it all the last
You
3
did
weeks
a
of the
project on
semester.
Splatoon.
Yeah.
Splatoon? Splatoon predicts like that.
Bustoon.
So
I did a project on Splatoon. I kind of wanted to finish it, is what I say, and of course it's never going to happen.
And then you sold it in your presentation.
And I sold my presentation, but I still got an A on the presentation somehow. But no, I did a whole project in Splatoon, like how, like, there's a computer program I downloaded that lets me pull all of my battle data from every battle I do, so like all the kills I get, all of the what weapon I used and how well I ranked with that weapon, and so I have a bunch of aggregate data on all of my Splatoon gameplay, and I did like an online web portfolio where I like showed off all the different kinds of statistics and that kind of thing.
Wow.
That was
Nice.
that was my capstone project for my data science minor, and I did that last spring. And then I was gonna do like some sort of choir thing, but I realized I wanted to do that for my thesis at that point, so then I pivoted projects into the Splatoon thing, because then I can do the choir thing now, which is way better doing it now. Because with this project, since it's all my own thing, then I can do things like get you all to sing the AI generated stuff, which is way cooler.
Yeah.
Like there'll be like the actual like. And that's the cool thing about Gonzaga is like they train the whole person. So like I'm getting my data science, like I'm gonna make a report. I'm gonna have to give a presentation. I'm gonna show the data that I collected and like aggregated and that kind of thing. And there'll be a presentation with that kind of information. And then y'all are gonna sing some really hard music because the AI is stupid as F and writes actual trash. And so you'll have to sing that. And it's not gonna be easy and it's not gonna be fun, but it's gonna prove a point, and therefore it's gonna be cool.
Do you have examples of that? Like
I'll show you after the I'll show you after the podcast.
Okay,
Post it
cool.
on your
I
Instagram
have some.
story.
There's stuff on my Instagram story, but you don't follow me on Instagram, which is weird.
I don't have Instagram.
That's
That
basic.
makes sense.
I
That's
don't
why.
have it,
That's
but-
actually way basic if you don't have Instagram. I don't think I did not get Instagram until COVID.
That's
And then I was like
interesting
super,
place.
and then I was super weird about Instagram, where I got Instagram, and like a bunch of people would try and follow me, and if I didn't know the person, I would not follow them back.
That's base of you.
Like so, and that's usually still kind of how
As
I
you
do
should.
it. Like
Yeah, that's
I'm
not
only
bad.
if I know the person, and I kind of got a little bit lax about it when I got to college. But like, especially when I was in high school, it's like if you are not literally my friend, I will not follow you
As
back.
you should. It's base.
Goddamn.
I
So-
I have a spam account and I follow 5 people.
Me too.
Trevor, Sal, Taylor, Rod, and my mom.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
and that's why I have like, I think it's like, I don't remember the statistic, but it's like, I can tell you right now how many, like, I have.
It's a 30% chance to rain.
I have, let's go back. I can find it.
100% chance that it'll.
I have, oh, never mind. That statistic is not as far apart as I thought. Maybe it's just because people stopped following me because they realized that I didn't follow them back. But like, there was one point where like I had to like there was like a 100 follower difference between the people who followed me and the people who I followed back. Like there was
Base.
100
That's
people
base
different.
of you.
Yeah.
100 people who followed me that I did not follow back.
So base.
Wow.
Now that gap is a lot smaller. I have
King
344 followers and I actually follow 306.
Woo! It's got
So I
that ratio
think
up.
people like actually just like stopped
Yeah.
follow like so when they realized I wasn't gonna follow them back, they just unfollowed.
Also, I just remember this. The profile picture I have for Trevor is just a snap.
What? Yeah, that's my Instagram profile.
I know, but I fucking
Did you take that or did you like
you
screenshot
took
I
that?
a
screenshotted that and I cropped it down. And it's not even centered. It's so bad.
Screenshot of a screenshot of a screenshot.
Do you guys do that? Like you have pictures for people in your contacts?
Yep.
Oh,
Well, didn't
Not
Apple
really.
like Apple actually started like making that built in? So like when you text someone,
yeah.
if they have it set up in their like
In
iCloud
their
account or
phone?
whatever, in
Yeah.
their phone, then it automatically populates that picture in
Oh,
another
yeah.
person's phone now.
Yeah.
Which I think is a really cool feature that I cannot wait for Android to implement. 'Cause I think that's kind of
iPhone better.
Actually, no, Android does implement that. Because I have a picture for Robert in my phone. I have a picture for Robert, and I did not put in a picture for Robert. So, what is it? I actually don't know. I just know that I see something, and I'm like, wait, it's Robert.
It's a jazz man.
It's a jazz band.
No. Let me find it. Yeah, what is that? Actually, what is that though?
It's an AI generated like.
That's his picture.
It's
I
a
did
Oh,
not
it's a
put that on my
plane.
phone.
It's a turbine.
Turbine, yeah.
Oh, was it a plane turbine?
yeah, it's a plane turbine.
wow.
It's a turbine.
Okay, well that's.
What is his
It's a
major?
plane turbine.
He's a major. He's a major.
Okay.
Plane wearing a turban.
Okay, I think we hit an hour, but I don't want to finish yet. We did this in the episode that Taylor and Rod were on, where we did the overrated, underrated, properly rated.
Oh.
Fall Family Weekend repertoire, and I'll go through all the songs that we sang. The only stuff that we sang, because I don't want to like harp on stuff that we didn't
Yeah.
sing. But like, I'll let you guys weigh in on the concert choir stuff because you like listened to it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna give a song, and you're gonna tell me if it was it's overrated, underrated, or
Oh, just
properly
me?
rated. No, all of us.
Oh, good.
And we'll start with Glee, and then we will go to
Oh.
concert choir.
Okay.
Mm.
Or we could just.
Anak Pachak Kusi Queenie, overrated, underrated, properly rated.
I want to give it properly
Properly.
rated because we did some cool stuff. I think the only thing we were missing was a little bit of polish. And
Yeah.
It could have been great,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah, I'd say properly rated. I liked it. I like the old stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like, I think just because the harmonies were kind of more simpler and not as invigorating, that it was just like,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say overrated.
because you don't like it. And you
I didn't like it. I just wasn't prepared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's my fault.
Ave Maris Stella, overrated, underrated, properly rated.
Overrated.
Overrated?
Dude, it isn't my music. I couldn't. And also, I'm just holding the same note. I'm just like, bro.
Welcome to the world of bass and like
I
Latin
know, it
stuff.
annoys
Don't
me.
do
It
anything.
annoys me. But that's just me, though. I don't want to say it's a bad song. Just I, as a bass, just was like, okay. It's just time for me to go,
I'm properly rated.
Yeah, proper.
Yeah.
I almost think it was slightly underrated. But I think it's just because I care about it so much, and it's like, no, you don't understand how cool it is. It's like actually so cool.
I think it was underrated at the beginning, and then Dr. Stolman like stopped during
There you
everything.
go. Okay,
and
that's
she
fair.
Was, she was just like,
That's
"Guys,
fair.
You guys sound really good right now." And then I was like,
that's
"Yeah, we
true.
probably do."
That's true. Okay, fair.
Yeah.
The River, overrated, underrated, properly rated.
Underrated.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
gonna say.
I was
I
looking
like-
I was
at
gonna say
underrated. I
underrated.
didn't think it was a really cool song. I do think it was a lot of people. I think, like, someone talked about how, like, mentioning that we enjoyed singing it, which I think we did, but, like, it was one of those that was just
It
has
was
like a
weird. I never
unspoken
really even-
level of bassness
Yeah.
that just,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
wasn't really brought to the
Forefront?
Yeah,
The,
that.
the forefront and surface at the same time. The purpose.
Purpose.
Yeah. It just not like we kind of talked about it, but like we kind of had to find that for ourselves, and I think
Yeah.
that some people didn't realize what that kind of looked like.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
agree.
I think
Also when it says tenors sing it, it's like, oh, maybe this is just like a pet peeve of mine, but I think a pet peeve of mine is like when anyone just sings at all, and it's just like, okay, the composer wanted tenors to sing it because it needs to be light and fluffy and airy, and it's like
Yeah.
a baritone just
burst through.
bursts through, yeah.
It was a good.
So I was not a fan of that. But I think if you listen back to the recording, it wasn't like
That bad.
that bad. I think it's just a pet peeve of mine. I
It was a
guess.
good growth piece for at least for tenor ones too.
Yeah.
We had to like trust each other a lot.
Yeah.
I know Robert was really the only one in our section who could hit the high A's like reliably
Yeah.
every time. So we would like,
Let him. Yeah.
yeah. So I don't know. It was fun though to sing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Connected, overrated, underrated, properly rated.
Prop. It's where it needs to be.
I agree.
It existed. It's a good
Yeah.
song, but I'm not gonna give it a bad or good. It's
I
just-
say
it's there.
properly rated or slightly overrated.
Yeah.
Because
I
we
would
kind
agree
of
with the
sold the
slightly.
concert a little bit.
Yeah.
We like
It
went
went-
way too
We
fast.
kept clapping at the end, and we should have started.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Just Josh just like was still clapping. It's like, buddy,
I
you're
was like-
supposed to be snapping.
Yeah, I
right now.
know,
You're
I-
and I was
awesome.
like, well,
Thank you, bud.
well.
But it
I
was
love
difficult too
Josh.
because the audience didn't really know that that's what we were doing anyway, so they were like clapping.
I don't mind
I was
it.
trying to
I
like
guess
gesture
it
them like, yeah, you guys can clap. But
Yeah, that's like when I was singing. It was like we got to the I Have a Party. I was like, you know,
No, they
like,
started
like, actually
clapping, but they just
acknowledge.
didn't know that we were gonna stop
I guess.
instead of
Yeah.
snapping.
I
So
mean-
like,
Well,
So
we
it
were
kinda-
in practice. That was cool.
Hey,
Hey, hey,
But during the concert, I was like,
hey.
yeah.
yeah,
because I was nervous, and I was like, bro, I don't want to mess up.
yeah,
So I think it's like,
I
I feel
was,
like
yeah.
we need to like do that under more stress.
Yeah.
Because
I
I feel
agree.
like we were just that was our only thing we were messing up on, just like the stress-induced like things. The only thing we're messing this up.
I was really close to the edge of the stage too.
yeah.
And
I
like
should
I
push
was,
you off.
I was so nervous that I was just gonna get too into it and like step
Actually,
off
yeah.
and just like.
But also, I was up top. People were looking directly at me.
Yeah.
Me and Zach, and I was like, well, here we go.
I was
This is
just
gonna be fun.
I was just looking like at Nick and just across the stage, like just in that general area, so I have to look at the crowd.
You? Oh my gosh. Did you? If you wa- did you? Did it again?
Words.
When we did the Glee Club, I Am a Part of You, and we put it on the GU Choir's Insta.
Oh, the first one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was simply blocked out. It's like data scrubbing the IRL.
You in the
I
background?
know. Yeah. Let's make a cameo. Oh wait,
You were just
wait,
like,
what?
You were just
Hold
like,
on, Let me see. Wait, let me see. I honestly forgot I did that.
You're just like,
Oh, sorry, I just.
"Hey."
Oh man, did I just spike?
That might be our new intro. Like we did Longest Time for Forever for the intro to the show.
Yeah.
That's our new intro.
I know.
I love
It's
that.
connected.
You. Oh, I don't actually remember the whole fucking. Oh, the lyrics. What are the lyrics again?
I am inside your
No,
head.
like the
Oh.
bass part.
I am you.
are me. That's what I said. I am you are me. Don't you see? I am you are me. Don't you see? I am you are me. Yeah, it's good. I like it.
Reels.
Okay, concert choir. Measure Me Sky. Overrated, underrated, properly rated.
Prop. Just
Overly
Wait,
rated.
is that the?
That was the one that we opened with after my quartet went.
yeah. I mean, it was fun.
Measure Me Sky.
That was alright.
I was looking.
Yeah, that was like literally me. I was like, we sung this way too much. I am so over
Yeah,
it.
we sang that one so
We also sang so much Elaine Hagenberg last year that like all the freshmen were like, this is so cool. And I'm like, I'm glad you think this is cool. I've sung so much of this composer that I'm done. I'm done. I'm sorry. Because that was the composer who did our combined piece with BYU.
Oh, okay.
The sick composer. So I was just like, yeah, that piece was like mid. The
Yeah,
tenors
it
were
got
literally
me.
singing a D the whole time. You're like, da da da, just like the whole time. And that song, so I was like, I'm done. I
It
I
got
can't sing
more and
anymore
more
of this.
overrated the more we did it
Yes.
in front of more people. And it was
Yes.
just like, oh my gosh. I have like dreams where the soundtrack is Measure Me Sky. Because
Oh,
I've listened to it so much.
that's so bad.
It's like,
Okay, what was after that? Oh, after that was Chante Watch Day.
ooh.
I almost think that was a little bit
Underrated.
underrated. I think actually definitely underrated.
I think the end was underrated, and I'm not sure if the audience understood why the turnaround.
I think that was in the program.
It was okay.
Yeah.
That was
I think it was
yeah.
in the program. So I think people,
Um,
if they read the program, realized why we did that.
Yeah, but I thought it was underrated. It was really
I thought it was really underrated. I think people didn't. I think not everyone realized, like even though we talked about it, like realized the significance of the story. I think it also didn't help that we sold when the composer zoomed with us.
Yeah.
Like that performance for the, like we all just recognized that it was like just
Oh, it was
mid
such,
as F, kind of bad.
the pronunciation was just terrible.
Yeah, and then like, but then when I think people realized how cool it was after Uriah came and had that moment. Like people realized, oh,
It's a big deal.
it's like a big. This really is kind of like a big deal. Like we used to actually have someone in our program who is a part of that tribe and resonates with that. I think that it realized. And I think as we got closer, like it sounded really good at the concert. And I feel like most of like the way that we just work is we get closer to the concert, things just naturally become more
Yeah.
just good.
Our brains start working a little quicker.
Yeah,
Yeah, I agree. I think
but I think it was underrated.
I think it's tough with the like cultural representation of really of Gonzaga. Like
Yeah.
trying to understand other cultures, and Dr. Stolman does like program a lot of really cool traditional songs from other cultures, but it's like in a lot of ways it's hard for me to understand like just the themes, the motifs of where it's coming from, because I just haven't lived that sort of way. So it's nice to like have like Uriah come in and explain it, because I think that's what we needed to like make it click.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else did we sing at that concert?
The one like African one. I don't know if it was, but like the Afrobeat version. Or that's what I took away. It was like an Afrobeat song. It was like.
Was that us or was that?
Oh, the Renavare!
yeah.
Duh! But there was another song we did outside of Renavare. Like that was, I was going to do that one last because that was our final piece.
Oh.
We had a third song.
No, it doesn't. Oh, Their Mother.
Their Mother. Duh.
Oh yeah.
Their Mother. I think properly rated.
Yeah, me too.
Like I don't
Yeah.
have much else to say.
Yeah,
other
it
than it was cool, properly
good.
rated. We nailed it.
Yeah.
That was just like perfect in our voices.
Yeah.
Boy. Okay, moving on. May Renavare.
May Renavare, I think it was underrated
I think
for
underrated.
me. That's probably the one song over all the rest where like I couldn't hear that the altos or sopranos when I was singing it, but listening to the recording, like there was so much going on in that song. And every time like Dr. Stolman was like, this is really difficult, I was like, our part's not that bad.
When you listen to everyone else,
Yeah,
you're like,
and there's
oh,
like,
that's pretty
oh
bad.
shoot, yeah, no, like that's what made it difficult, was like all the oh my
like
gosh.
lining up all the pieces of the puzzle.
Yeah.
Because each individual piece of the puzzle is not that bad. When you put all the pieces of the puzzle together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the basses were selling for a long time because that rhythm is off. Because they were doing like that.
Yeah.
Renovare, renovare, and then it's like renovare, 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 renovare.
Oh man.
And well, it's that, and then there was also the one where it's like renovare me, renovare
Oh,
me,
yeah.
re, and they drove the beat like earlier than everyone else. It's like renovare me, renovare,
Man, and
with
then,
the
like,
basses coming really
The
with that.
three
and that
tempo
was hard.
changes at the end.
Yeah.
That was
Mm-hmm.
so fun once we finally got that. But like, oh
Yeah.
gosh.
That
Crazy.
piece was really sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one.
And then we're gonna go to Mass and Blue. I think we should do some Mass and Blue. Kyrie.
Dude, they're all great.
Because I have some opinions on that. I don't think they're all great, but that's just me.
Well, let's just talk about the ones that you don't.
I just don't like the song twos.
Ooh,
I
you
just
don't.
don't like the song twos.
What? In what way? Yeah. I don't know.
That's just like
It's
the inside of my body.
brainwashing.
Like,
It was very Christmassy and like
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
Which you need that, and if you're gonna do it, you do it on the song too. So that was just like,
Yeah. I don't know. I liked it. I think that's just because I've been needing a Christmas moment right about now, and like, man, yeah, that's why I like singing all the Christmas songs now for the candlelight is like
Yeah.
I just need that in my life.
dude, I
That's
had a chance to tell you this, but it was while you were out of town this weekend. I was hanging out with Sal, and I made some sort of Christmas joke, and he was like, "Do not talk about Christmas ever again. I don't want to hear about Christmas until mid-December. Like, do not talk." And I was like, "Dude, literally chill." I was like, "What are you on right
As soon
now?"
as we get back, I'll make a Christmas show. That's all I'm talking about.
But yeah, I don't know. I wasn't a fan of the song too. So the Kyrie's fine. The soloists are really good for the Kyrie.
Yeah.
It's just for me. It's just like all we sing from 90% is Kyrie eleison, eleison. That's all we sing
Yeah.
for 74% of it. I was just like, oh, it's in unison, not exciting.
Mm.
Gloria's cool. The Credo's cool. The Credo's cool at the fast moments.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Agnus Dei is cool at the fast moments. And my favorite of the whole thing is the Benedictus.
Mm.
Benedictus is way cooler than all the other ones. And Audrey just slays that so
Yeah.
hard. Audrey was made for that one. Okay, well, I guess
That's it.
I guess that's the
Alright,
podcast.
that's it.
Alright, that's it. Anything we want to say before we end off the podcast? We'll see you in like 4 weeks.
Yeah. Whenever Trevor actually decides to post this.
Whenever we decided, but I'll try and post this when I get back. I'm gonna play Mario when I get back.
Yeah. I feel that.
Then Mario game came out, so like we gotta play it. I was gonna say something I forgot. I say see you folks because it's a joke, but like I want to record this again. Maybe we can record after we get back from retreat. I'm gonna be exhausted when we get back from retreat. Probably not.
Do it.
We can try. We'll see if we can
We'll
get people
see.
water record after retreat.
We could do it on retreat.
Then I gotta bring all the stuff.
Oh, true.
Or retreat tour.
Just do it.
That could be
Do it
cool.
on the bus ride.
I would record the podcast on tour.
On the
Bring all
bus. On the bus. Welcome to the bus.
I would bring the recording equipment on tour if people would commit to actually being on for a 30-minute episode.
I would
Have the whole
Which would mean
choir.
we'd probably have to do it like in the evening.
I would do
Dr.
that.
Stallman featured.
You would do that?
Oh my gosh,
With her
We get
featured.
Stolman on.
Just record the podcast
Oh.
in the lobby, the hotel lobby.
that would be so funny.
Just do a live stream.
Okay, I'll talk
Do
to
a live
Glenn.
stream.
Do an Instagram live stream.
Wear a GoPro during
Oh,
the,
that would be
like, during the performance.
We'll talk to other Glee-ers and see if they'd be willing to do that on tour. If there are people who want to do it, then I will pack. I wasn't planning on packing my laptop, but I'll pack my laptop and all the recording equipment, and we'll record it on retreat or tour for tour.
Cool.
Deal.
I love that.
Fine.
That's awesome. I can't wait to see that.
Good. Yeah, you're not going with us. Sorry.
Yeah.
Bye.
I am.
I'm not that cool.
Bye.
Bye.
Just go under the
Bye.
bus.
Thank you for watching.
And thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
He's selling, by the way.
No, I just like wanted to wave. Bye. Okay, we're actually leaving now. Bye. Bye.